Hi guys, welcome to the next video. So today I'm doing my makeup, but I'm doing it for a photo that I need to take for a recruitment agency. So basically with my support work, I really do miss working with the children, and because I've got those days off as well, what I wanted to do for some of those days is maybe work with SEND children, everything that I have really experience in, so that I can still be out there working with kids, things like that. But with a recruitment agency, they have a profile for you. So they have your online profile, and with that profile they need a photo. So they asked for a professional photo smiling. So it gave me a chance to look at all my makeup, what I have. Some of it I'm going to be going, it's more of a shop my stash. Some of it is I am recent to it, it's not recent. I showed it to you before. It's the Maybelline Perfector 4-in-1. I had to go out and get another colour. It's the 4-in-1. It's been out for about 2 years now, 2 or 3 years. So it says it's a primer, concealer, highlighter and a BB cream. Now I had to go out and get the lightest one they had, because this would usually be my skin tone. And this was in light fair, I think. Fair, light, cool, which is usually my skin tone. This is the lightest they have. So I got this one in Superdrug, thinking that it would be my foundation shade, and then I ended up having to go online because I realized very quickly. Now it does say that it adjusts to different skin tones, but I really feel like it does look completely different, and you don't want to have that foundation look where you're totally different color to everything else. So what I found worked better was this is the lightest one they have. This is 00 Fair Light, and this was Fair Light Cool. So you can see, guys, if I just put these up side by side, then we'll get to the makeup. If I put these up side by side, you can see the difference there. Even if I do it that way, there's a huge difference. There's definitely a shimmer to it too. I've seen a lot of people say over the years that it can be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, and I do have that linked below because I did get that I think 2 years ago, and I will review it below. So let's have a look. Now I have used it throughout the week, and I have things to say about it, but it's like a twist cap. Mine was $8.49 on Amazon, but 11, which was quite frustrating, 11 in Superdrug, and that was with my Superdrug card, which is quite, so obviously it's still, it's not high end, but it's definitely more on the expensive side of kind of drugstore. So I'm just going to twist it. So prime, so it says prime, conceal, highlight and a BB cream. Now I will say I don't think it's a concealer, and I wouldn't ever say that it is. I think it's very difficult for companies to claim that in a 4-in-1 or a 3-in-1 or a multi-purpose product to say it's so you can see it's the closest one I could get to my skin. So we'll have a look at. Sorry guys, so I thought we could have natural light today, but obviously that wasn't to be, so I just had to put my lights on. So yes, so I've just rubbed that in slightly, and I'm going to do a bit more, but to say a concealer, now I tried it the other day all week, and last for me, now I do get dry skin, and then throughout the day, depending on the weathers or where I am, it can kind of fluctuate between oily or patchy, so whatever foundation I have on definitely has a job to stay on. It's a challenge. So I found this was really good up until about 7 o'clock in the evening, and I put it on at maybe 10. So I thought I did a really good job of that. The highlighting part of it, you can see there's definitely a sheen, but it doesn't look overdone. I do find in the Charlotte Tilbury there's more of a sheen, more of a brightness, but it doesn't say it's a brightener. It is a highlighter, and you can see kind of, even if you got if there isn't a lighter shade, but if they had an even lighter shade, you could use it kind of to along the apples of the cheeks here as well, just to kind of give yourself that extra sheen. But you can always use a highlighter too. So yes, this I think is just about my skin tone. I've kept this one because I did use it. I couldn't give it away because I'd already used it, and because it's a sponge applicator, I'd put it on my skin, so it's unfortunate because I would have given it away. But maybe in the summer, maybe this will work if it gets a little bit better with the weather. So that's 1.5, I would say, applications, and I think I would say it's medium coverage, but it's a BB cream, so we don't ever think that it's going to be heavy coverage with BB creams anyway. I wouldn't say, I think the primer, I always love my W7 primer, and I think it was in my other video, and I purposely didn't take it out because this does say it's a primer, and for the purpose of the video, I think the primer wore off a little bit more. If I kind of, section it down, Did it kind of illuminate? Yes, absolutely, because you can see almost straight away. Did it conceal? Not really, but I mean, a BB cream is light anyway, so to say it's a concealer and a BB cream would be really tough to get the two together. So I am going to use my e.l.f. This is just my Cameo concealer. I'm going to use that under here. But is it a nice, just go-to light kind of BB cream to use spring, summer? Absolutely. And it is a fraction of the price of Charlotte Tilbury. Now, that's not to say you can get higher end, but if you're just trying to save money, Maybelline are a really, really good you know, place to go. So I would use it. I just would use primer. So what I would do is I would just adjust what I do with it. So I purposely just try to see, you know, it's a 4-in-1. Does it do everything? It doesn't. Does it illuminate? Yes. If you had really good skin, would you need to conceal? No. But I tend to have grey, and I have even since I was little. I had a little grey, you know, in my under eyes here, and sometimes I can look really tired from my overnights. So for that reason, I would always carry my concealer. But I would definitely reuse it. I will be using it. It's a really, really good size. I love the fact that there's a sponge. I love that there's no hassle. You don't have to get a brush or another makeup sponge and do the whole thing. So yes, I will use it more. But just to be aware of the shades, because this and this could not be more different. But I have, you know, the name Fairlight is, I have other concealers. I have Revlon Fairlight, and it's this color. So, oops, sorry, it's this color here. It's in my makeup kit, so I will look at it again. But just to say, like, Revlon and Maybelline, the color, the name was the same as the color of this, and this is the darker one. So, you know, the other thing I would say is that it would be nice to come in with darker tones as well. For they have a medium and a dark, but there's no in between. So it would just be nice if they had a little bit more of a variation of colour, but I'm not complaining. It's really nice on the skin. You can definitely see that illuminating all day, the kind of highlighting effect all over the face. So we're going to just go in now with the e.l.f. concealer. So yeah, this is kind of going to be like a photo makeup, you know, so we're not going to go too dramatic, but we want to look professional. So I'm just going to pop this under here. This is my e.l.f. Camo concealer. And e.l.f. are actually a really good range too. But I've been really, really using my Revlon lately, my foundation I used in my previous video, Colour Stay, and it's been great. I haven't used Revlon in so long. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in with a beauty blender that I bought. I got a pack of them for my kit, and I saved 2 for myself, but they're in these little packs. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to kind of getting back working with children. It's one of my passions. I miss the children so much, but I think I needed something travel-wise that was going to really, so I've just wet my sponge there, that was going to really work around life. So yes, with this, the particular jobs they have, schools they work with are really close by. So I'm really excited about that. My driving test is coming up in June. So I'm hoping, you know, with that too, I'm doing a Pass Plus course. So it's kind of like a specially designed course for people that are about to do their driving test. And it goes through everything really. I've had about, I think I've clocked up about, with a professional driving instructor, about 20 hours. And with friends and family, a lot more than that, I think. But one of my friends had said it took her, was it maybe 44 lessons, but she passed the first time. So yeah, I guess it's just individual to everybody really. Roundabouts are a big thing. Everyone seems to settle in driving but have one issue, and my issue I think is roundabouts and lanes. I just get kind of, I have to really plan ahead, especially following the sat nav and stuff, and I find other drivers intimidating as well. So even if I am in the right lane, I'm still kind of looking at the mirrors, things like that, but maybe I'm over cautious. But yes. So that's just the concealer, and I think it actually goes really well. You know, they blend, and the 2 colours blend really well. So that was the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. So what we'll do now is just blend that into the nose. And just for time's purposes today, guys, because we're more focusing not on the products, I obviously went in with Maybelline and just kind of spoke about how I feel about it. If you want me to do a full, my opinion on it, I will, let me know. But just for time's purposes today, I'm going to go in with my Laura Geller, and that has bronzer, blusher, highlight, and eyeshadow. So it's just like an all-in-one, basically. This was on QVC, I think 2 years ago I got it. I spray it constantly, I keep it really hygienic. But they do have different variations of this now. It comes with a mirror, but they have so many other, you know, basically the same, if not more, variations now in this. So you've got your bronzer, your blusher. Again, I do have a video of this, so I will link it below. Your eyeshadows. And what I like about the eyeshadows is they're not overcomplicated. You know, you can definitely do a nighttime or like a neutral day look. And then you've got your 2 versions of highlighters here too. So it's just a really nice, travel friendly. It's always in my support work bag when I have energy to put my makeup on. But yes, so that's what we're going to be doing there. And I'm just going to kind of make it light, fresh, you know, photo. If it's a professional photo, you want to look clean. I think that's the biggest advice I would say, is look clean in photos. And what I mean by that is fresh skin, hair, you know, everything, it has its place, you know. Don't have to be overdone, things like that. So we're going to start that now. I'm going to go in with my bronzer. So this is the Baked bronzer, and it's in medium. It's called Baked and Brighten, and you can actually, what I really like about these is that you can see there's a little bit of blush in there, there's a little bit of highlight. So you can kind of use it all around if you're really careful. You could actually just use this one if you're really careful about where you swoop your brush. Okay, so let's start with the bronze. We kind of want to brighten the face like it says, but not look too kind of overdone really. So I'm going to be using my Nevepscu. This was I keep these really well because they were only about £10, but I got them from the company called Nevepscu. They do their own lip glosses as well. But this one is just really good, pointed for kind of looking at where you're going to place your bronzer or your contour. So I'm going to go for a more bronze light look today, and this really blends well. It just looks like you have just come off holiday, or you're it looks healthy, I guess, is what, and it adjusts to different skin tones. And you can get, so this is the light medium, they have medium to dark, so for different skin tones, for different ethnic backgrounds, which I really like. They're a company that do really cater to different skin tones, which I really like. So I'm just bringing that under, being careful not to go into the area where we're going to put the blush, but making sure the colour kind of connects right back to the hairline. And so we just have that kind of fresh look about it. Now, before we do any of that, I'm looking in there and I realised I haven't done my brows. So I always use the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil, and it comes with the brush at the end. So I always use that. It's just really good. It's really quick, and it's what I know. I like pencil. And then the fact that the brush is here as well is just great. It's quick. And once you find your shade, it's really good. So I've just brushed that into place, and we're just gonna go in with the actual color, and I go over it where it needs to be. Unless there was an actual patch that had no hair, I would do something like that, but always just follow the natural hairline. Once you've done that, then you can kind of expand slightly, but always just go with what you have and try to just accentuate that instead of kind of adding on. So that's what we're doing. And it just looks a little bit more tidy, if you can see what I mean. So nothing's been kind of overdone. It just looks tidier and more kind of professional. Okay, so we're just going to do the other side. I went bowling at the weekend, and then we went for a Chinese, and I don't know if anyone watches this, and they are in Oxford, but we went to Kassam. So Hollywood Bowl is there, and then there's the cinema at the top, Hollywood Bowl, and they've got Frankie and Benny's, and then there's Oxy, which is like a buffet, and it's just like a Chinese restaurant. And so we'd spent about an hour and a half in Hollywood Bowl because we'd prepaid for it. Lighting again, you have to love it, don't you? I've never had luck with it. I don't know what it is. Even when I get new ones, something always happens. But anyway, yes. So we'd gone into Hollywood Bowl. We'd prepaid for everything, so we'd had our time there. The Oxy is literally down as you come out, down around. So we went there, and I walked in, and they just wait. You wait to be seated. So we were waiting to be seated, but then he came up and asked me, the guy that obviously brings you to your seat, which is all new because you used to be able to just walk in, pick a seat, go to the buffet, get what you want, and come back. But now it's all very organised, maybe because of COVID. So, but he asked me, he said, "Oh, before you sit, I need your registration number of your car." And I was taken aback a little bit, and I was like, "Oh," and he's like, "I just need your registration number." So I had to put it into this pin pad type thing. And keep in mind, we'd been in Hollywood Bowl for an hour and a half. Nobody had said anything to us. No staff member approached us. And he said, if you don't give me your reg and I register your car, which I did thankfully, you get charged a penalty. This is all brand new. I've been going to Kassam. I've brought the guys there in support work. I've gone to the cinema with friends there. Basically what he was saying is, thank God you came in for some food, because if you had to come out and just tried to get out of the car park without paying, we would have fined you £100. But because he was so kind, I said to him, we've just come from Hollywood Bowl, nobody said anything to us, and he said, oh, it's a new thing we're bringing in. I'm sorry they didn't tell you. What I'll do is, I was so lucky, he was so kind, I'll put your registration in as of an hour, and then that way you're covered, so that when you go out you're not going to be asked to pay. But there's a penalty fee for anyone who doesn't you know, register their car and let people know that they've basically driven there, of £100. So it's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. If we hadn't gone to eat and gone home and I'd driven home, I wouldn't have been able to get out of the car park without, you know, people, you know, because there was guys there and everything when we came out. So I don't know why they're doing that. I've been going there for about 5 years now, just with friends, you know, things like that. And now they're starting to charge for parking, which is really bad. I understand if, you know, it's just a parking lot, or maybe it's an apartment or something like that, but this is people go there and they spend money, they bring their families there, they bring their kids there, and to ask for parking, so basically you don't have to pay once you register your car, basically. But that, nobody in Hollywood Bowl told us that, so we just decided to get food, and if we hadn't decided, we would have had a huge fine. So yes, just something that happened. The food there is amazing, but yes, and they were really kind to tell us, and he was so nice to actually just say, I'll put your reg in as of an hour ago, because obviously you came into Hollywood Bowl before here, and he did, and it was amazing. I went out, I drove out with no issues, there was absolutely fine. So he was really kind, he was really kind to do that. So yes, just something to do on the weekend. You know, I'm going to Ireland on the 11th, and I'll be vlogging that, seeing my mum. Haven't seen her since December, so that's something exciting. So yes, so we've gone through all that now. So that was the e.l.f. Precise Ultra Precise Brow Crayon, and mine is in medium brown, and you can see it just tidies them up. So we've done the bronze now. I'm going to go in with my blush, and I will tell you the name. It's the Baked in Blush in buttercream, pink buttercream, and that's what that looks like there. So we're going to go in with the blush brush, and I might use my this is just the cheeks, that's what that's called, and it's literally just a very small blush brush, but I like the fact that it's quite precise, and because we put a lot of bronzer on today, I just want to kind of have the cheeks the way I love the shape, because it will just apply the colour where I want it, just kind of here and here. So we're going to take that onto the brush and bring it up, and don't be afraid to kind of bring it up a little bit, so you're bringing that right up to the side so you can still see it as you go, and it's very slight, but it's still there, so we're just going to do that on the other side. And then what I do is, after this, if I feel it's too much, I just go in, and this is just my e.l.f. Total Face brush, and I love it. Even after a couple of washes, it's still good. It's really nice. So we're just gonna basically just buff it out. What happens is, if I don't moisturize and keep my skin, you know, really kind of soft with serums and creams, I'm finding even makeup or powder, things like that, if you don't work with them quick enough, it starts to stick. So my skin texture is certainly changing. So I'm using a lot of serums now. I'm using a lot of night Exlers, things like that, just to kind of keep my skin in good condition. So that, I think, is good. So I'm happy with that. And what we're going to do now is go in with the eyeshadows. And these eyeshadows I actually don't use a lot, but I am happy to use them today. You can wet the brush too with these particular ones. These are baked. And you can see there are the colours there. You got your really deep one, medium toned, and then this has a shimmer to it too. So let's have a look. I might go in with Sunstone. This is what this one's called here, and we'll see what that looks like on the skin, on the eye, because I haven't used them in a long time. So I'm just going to go in with one of my newer brushes, and we're going to see what one would fit. They're all at the bottom there. So I'm just going to go in with actually my Pompous Cat, which I got a long time ago. I just had it in there because they're washed, and it's quite fluffy, and it'll be just really nice to be able to get the colour on and see what it looks like on the skin. So we're just gonna, just to give us that nice kind of just their colour, so it's not something that's really obvious, but when you look you can certainly see, which I can see there, that there's something there basically, and you're just brightening up. So I'm just really taking my time with that. And even just the difference, even though it's a very slight colour, it's skin tone, it does make a difference when you look at both. Okay, so we'll do that. And a little goes a long way. I'm finding I didn't even have to spend too much time on one eye to get the colour that I wanted. And of course you could go in as well with the other colours if you wanted to. So what I might do is go into the inner corners, use the same brush with the highlighter, which is called Oyster, here. Just to the inner corners, so that when the mascara goes on, it kind of just makes everything pop a bit. So I'm just getting that on the corner of the brush and just pulling it outwards, just to make the inner, just makes you look less tired, it makes you look fresh, it goes with everything really. So we're going to go on the other side and just very carefully place. What I'll do after this is I'll just do my mascara and come back. So that's done. So that's only 2 coats, and I did curl my lashes. I think I'm coming to the end of that mascara, to be honest. It did take a while. I think it's drying up slightly. I do use it a lot. This is the Mile High from the collection. So yeah, I think it's Collection's Mile High mascara basically, and I have actually used it a lot. So I think I got the best I possibly could. But again, it is a photo professional kind of makeup, so we're not going to be looking too kind of into false lashes or anything like that. This is something I wanted to show you. I picked it up maybe 2 months ago and I never even used it. But number 7, I never really find them online, and I was in Boots. I happened to be in Oxford, and it's just their it says Nourishing Lip Duo. So I think it's a gloss and a lipstick in one, and this is in, there's a beautiful, beautiful scent to it. This is in, I will tell you, nude, and that's what the colour there looks like, and this is what it looks like. And I'm going to pop this on today because it kind of goes with the bronze, the blush kind of type of thing. And then we've got a slight kind of colour change in the eyes, and then we've got the mascara. I did take the mascara down slightly as well, just to give myself a little bit more of an awake look. So we're going to put this on. This is my first time trying it actually on my lips, so I just wanted something nourishing, but oh wow, that does actually come off a lot lighter on the lips. It feels really, really soft. I really like that actually. It's come off like a medium brown. Very soft. I can't remember the price, you guys, but it is just there. Number 7. Does it say anything on the lid? No, it doesn't. That's not helpful. I'm not helpful today, am I? No. So yes, this is what it's really soft, really, really soft. So I would probably take that in my bag with me if I was going out, because I don't think this is something that will stay. I think with lipsticks, lip balms, anything like that, unless they're really got high concentrations of certain things that make your lipstick stay, things like this, very soft, nourishing lip glosses or lipsticks are going to come off throughout the day. So it wouldn't put me off. I would just keep it in my bag. So yeah. That feels really nice. So that's going to be my photo makeup today, guys. Wish me luck. I'm hoping it all kind of works out. They did need 3 references, so they do go quite far back. They're doing an enhanced DBS, but I just miss being with children, teaching children, seeing them grow, and maybe because I don't have any of my own, I took for granted being with them for 7 years, even though it's a financial gain in terms of, you know, not having to travel there, being in a different town, things like that. and I am seeing some benefits. I definitely just miss them. I miss them so much, so I'm very excited for this. So I'm sending all this off today. Again, they do a profile because it's a recruitment agency. It's not kind of your standard, you know, going in for an interview and staying with that one company, but I do like that. I like the fact that there's going to be flexibility. So yes, so thank you for sticking with me today, guys. If you did, maybe you've taken something from this. You can always do your own. I do like the fact that the things I used today were 4-in-1s and were kind of things that could go into with multiple purposes. So saying that, you know, if you had really good skin, you might not even need a foundation, and you've got everything you need here, really, you know, with the exception of mascara and eyebrows. You know, I've always said that with Laura Geller, they're such good products that if you have really good skin, just use these. Don't, you know, moisturize really well, put on your SPF, and just go with something like this, because I just know that as I'm aging, my skin is changing. And I'm always interested to try these things out when it says a 4-in-1. So I will just say, I don't think it's a concealer. I don't think it is a full-on primer. I don't think it stayed as well as my W7. If I put W7 on and then just another foundation of mine like Revlon, it stays on all day. And W7, by the way, there is, I think there, I will show it to you and I'll put it up on screen. That one I get, and I showed it in my previous, is a dupe for the Photo Focus Smashbox, and it is exactly the same job, and it's £4 on Amazon. So W7 are a really good brand, and I think sometimes they get forgotten, but they were one of my first brands I ever got in makeup. So yes, so I think this definitely is a BB cream. It definitely highlights. For primer and for concealer, I would say possibly not. Do you go to maybe stick with this? I do like it. I like the application. I like the softness. I like the fact that the colour did actually eventually warm up to me. I certainly wouldn't have been able to get away with that. I did try it once and it was just looked so, I had to take it off straight away. But now that I've been able to relax with it, I've been able to try it with my own skin tone. I really like it, and I think it's a really good dupe in some aspects to the Charlotte Tilbury. In other aspects, the highlighter might be a little bit brighter with Charlotte Tilbury, a little bit more noticeable. But again, every day, spring, summer, something like this, absolutely amazing. And if you don't want to go out and get a primer, or you don't need a primer and you just want a BB cream, then this is definitely something I think you would really enjoy. So what we'll do now, so the last thing I was going to say, guys, sorry, because my lighting is just, it's not working today, but what I wanted to do is I did say what we'll do now. I did want to just give a shout out to something that if you are looking for neutral colours, and I do have a review on it, this is something I often go to. Daytime, nighttime, absolutely beautiful, long-lasting colours. And I'm talking about the Maxi Reloaded palette from Revolution, and it's their 42 colour Ultimate Nudes. So just perfect, guys. It has every single colour you could want, really, without obviously the pinks, the greens and the reds. Nudes, obviously you are going to expect light browns, creams, dark browns to blacks. There isn't a absolute black, but there is like a greyish tone if you wanted to go for something like that. So that would be this one here, greyish brown, I would say, right here. But looking at those, I always you know, recommend something like that, and then get their brighter colored version too. I can't remember what it's called. I will put it up somewhere. And then you've got everything you basically need. It's not amazingly travel friendly if you're in planes, things like that, like what I do. It's something you really have to make sure it doesn't smash, things like that. But in general, I do tend to take it, to be fair, and I just kind of wrap it up, things like that, because you can't really help if you're checking in a bag what's going to happen in the hold. You know, if you're having a small bag and you know what's going to be in a certain case or anything like that, that's okay. But just look at these colours, guys. You won't regret it. You do have a little bit of a pinkish one up here too. So I just wanted to show you before we go. I do have a video on it, and I will put that up. But it was just something, you guys, if you're looking for, like, because we went through basically, you know, something like this, but if you wanted more variation in terms of eyeshadow and something that's a really good price, I would certainly recommend the Maxi Reloaded. And you do get 45 colours, 45. Let's just open that once more and then I'll go. But I wanted to show you guys because it's just something that I often, as you can see, go into. And that's what they look like there. This is the one I was saying is sort of pinkish tone here. And they're so soft. They're so soft. That's that there. Very soft, and kind of colours that definitely last as well. So that's it, guys. Yeah, try it. Do try the 4-in-1 glow. Let me know what you think. The only thing I will say is just be careful of the shades. For me, it has been something I've been struggling with anyway, in terms of trying to kind of get the right shade for me. But now looking at this now, in the light, in the daylight, which is where you really do need to test makeup in natural lighting, I'm actually really happy with it. So I'll be doing my photo today. Thank you for watching the video, guys. I do really appreciate everybody here, and I will see you in the next video.